Can you talk?
Yes, what?
Rick, I'm terribly worried. I've tried to keep Tracy busy at the fitting today, but she skipped out on me.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I know that she went down to the courthouse to read my deposition.
Monica, don't panic. You can't be positive of that.
Well, then why didn't she tell me she was leaving? The saleswoman said Tracy told her that she had an errand to do. Now, something is obviously up with her, or she would have told me herself.
Monica, why didn't you call me earlier?
Well, I haven't had a chance. Alan picked me up at the shop when we came home, and we dressed for dinner, and the family's been here. This is the first chance I've had to call.
Rick, are you up here?
Leslie's coming downstairs. Why don't you call Lee at the office? I know he's working late tonight, all right?
Okay.
Here you are. How's the article coming along?
Oh, it's going around all right, I guess. I got tied up a little when Amy came downstairs.
Oh, are they off to the disco already?
Yeah, they're going to wear themselves out on the dance floor.
Maybe that's what I should do tonight. Maybe I should just wear myself out so I can get to sleep at a decent hour.
Leslie, what's bothering you? Are you thinking about Laura?
Well, yes, of course. I think about her all the time. I'm terribly, terribly worried about her.
Tomorrow might be too late.
No, I think we should take care of it right now.
Lee Baldwin.
Lee, this is Monica.
Yeah, dear.
I just spoke to Rick, and he suggested I phone you up and tell you what happened today.
Yes.
You know our plan to keep Tracy occupied?
Yes.
Well, it backfired, and I'm so afraid that she went down to that courthouse and read the deposition before it was sealed.
When did she leave, Monica?
Well, about 11:45.
Well, then you don't have to worry about a thing. That restraining order went into effect at 11:50.
Oh, Lee, that is wonderful. I've been scared to death.
Listen, you just relax. Have a good night's sleep now.
I can't tell you how relieved I am.
Well, listen, you don't have to, dear, because I know. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Oh, listen, another thing. Scotty and I are going to destroy our copy of your deposition just in case.
Oh, I think that is an excellent idea. I can't thank you for the good news.
All right. Good night, dear.
Good night.
Okay. Now, here, Scotty.
Thank you. Answer the phone.
Answer the phone yourself. I'm a girl. I don't know.
Hello. No, this is Dr. Warren. I see. All right, I'll leave for the hospital right now. Emergency list.
I'm sorry, and you're so tired.
Oh, I'm fine. Monica?
Yes, Rick? What is it?
Our patient, Mr. Bradley, he's had another heart attack.
Oh, no.
Looks like we'll have to do an emergency bypass.
Oh, well, I'll be right there.
Thank you, Monica.
Bye. I've got to get to the hospital.
Why doesn't he get somebody else to assist him?
Well, I can't turn right down.
No, you never can.
Alan, don't do that.
Monica, you haven't had any rest at all. You've got to think of the baby.
I feel fine. I feel excellent. I've been on this case for 1 year when he had the first heart attack.
All right, I'll drive you to the hospital.
Well, that's ridiculous. You don't have to go.
I've got some work to do there, and then I'll be there if you're tired to drive you home.
I am perfectly capable of driving myself.
I'm going to do this, and that's the end of it.
All right. Have it your way. Hi, Rick.
I've been uptight a little since your phone call.
Oh, it's all right. Lee called, and he said the restraining order went through at 11:50 this morning.
But Tracy didn't have time to get down here.
She left me at 11:45, and I doubted she could make it to the courthouse in 5 minutes.
Well, I was really sweating it out there for a while.
I'm sorry. I couldn't get back to you, but I thought Lee might call you.
Well, you may have tried after I came to the hospital.
You feel like I do?
Yes, I'm very grateful.
I feel just like the weight of the world has been lifted off my shoulders.
Well, this has been very rough on you.
Why, you? But maybe now the whole Gregorian nightmare is over.
I shouldn't have asked you to come down and assist me tonight.
Oh, are you kidding? I would have been furious if you hadn't called. I've been in on this case with you since the beginning.
Well, that's one reason why I wanted you, because you know the patient as well as I do, probably better than I do.
What do you think the chances are?
I think they're good, don't you?
Yep, I think definite 2 bypasses and possibly a third if, well, depends on what we find when we go in.
It'd be nice having you at my side again.
You don't know how nice it is for me to be here.
Dr. Weber?
Yes?
Before you finish scrubbing, do you have a moment to see someone who says it's very important?
Who is it?
It's Lee Baldwin.
Did he say what he wanted?
Just said it was personal. And he also asked if Dr. Quartermain was assisting. When I told him that you were, he said he'd like to see you also.
Well, yes, we'll be right out. Thank you.
Listen, I know I shouldn't be here at a time like this.
No, we haven't finished scrubbing. What is it?
I just felt it should be alerted. I don't know how this happened, but Monica, your deposition is missing from our files.
Dr. Weber?
Your husband came through surgery just fine. He made 3 bypasses. The prognosis is good.
Oh, I was so worried.
Why don't you get a bite to eat? He'll be in recovery about another 2 hours, and then you can wait for him in the room. And I'm sure you're going to be the first person he'll want to see when he comes out of it.
Oh, God bless you, Dr. Weber.
It's a good feeling, isn't it?
You pull one through like that. Makes all those years of training seem very worthwhile.
And it helps to forget the ones you lose.
Now, you're thinking of Patricia Krikorian and the malpractice.
I'm sorry, Rick. I can't get it out of my mind.
Monica, that is one thing you're going to have to forget.
Okay, fine. But will they?
You mean Tracy?
Well, of course. I mean, you and I both know she's not going to rest until she learns what's in those depositions.
Probably she will never see what's in those depositions.
With a copy missing from Lee's office? Rick, come on. She probably has them in her hands right now.
Monica, they were misplaced, or they could have been put in another file.
Do you honestly believe that? You've known Lee as long as I have, Rick. And you know how meticulous he is with his records.
Well, I know there's nothing else we can do except hope for the best right now.
Or wait for lightning to strike. Rick, I can't stop thinking about it. The file is out there somewhere in the wrong hands, and if Alan gets a hold of it... Rick, if Alan finds out that you and I spent the night together, I don't know. Scotty, any news?
I wish I could tell you something good, but they're still missing.
Oh, no.
You searched the office completely?
Yeah, we did, from top to bottom.
Are you sure it couldn't have been stolen?
Well, I don't see how, Monica. Those file cabinets have locks on them, and they haven't been tampered with. Now, we're still searching. We think that there's a possibility they were just misfiled.
You're not just saying that to make us feel better.
Rick, there's no way that those files could have gotten out of the office. It would take a professional thief to come in and break in without leaving a trace. And frankly, I can't understand why a thief would go to so much trouble just to steal your deposition.
Have you talked to Zelda Birdstein about this?
Well, I'm on my way over to her place right now. Lee wants to shred up her copy.
It's a little late for that.
Well, maybe it is. We're not sure. But by shredding Zelda's copy, that means that there'll be one less chance of it falling into the wrong hands.
Monica, it's not going to do you any good if you go into shock. Now, have some coffee.
I can't. I'm sorry.
You have to stop thinking about it.
I can't, Rick. I'm scared. You know what's happened. Tracy's out to destroy me and the baby. So she hired someone to steal the deposition. Now that's that.
Monica, don't talk that way.
Or Alan has it. Tracy could have said something to Alan that makes him want to get his hands on it. Now what did she say to him that makes him do something like this?
Monica, now get hold of yourself. Look, you've got all kinds of crazy thoughts going through your head. None of them mean anything.
How do you know?
Look, if Tracy had gotten the deposition, we would have heard about it by now because she would have broadcast it to the whole town.
What about Alan?
You know Alan.
Yes, I do, Rick. I know him very well.
That's my point. If he knew, he'd be down here right now.
Well, maybe he hasn't read them.
Come on,
Monica, there are at least a dozen different routine reasons for where that deposition can be. I mean, it could be in the trash for all we know.
Oh, great. That's a very comforting thought.
Monica, please.
You are so damn cool, Rick. You're so damn reasonable. You know, I really think you don't care about this.
I don't think you mean that statement.
Well, I don't know what I mean. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm saying.
Hey, it'll be all right.
God, Rick, you don't know what it's like. You don't know what living with Alan is like. It's living on the edge, waiting for another outburst and not knowing when it's going to happen.
You must have been living in hell.
It's a jealousy. Rick is still there. He watches me. He makes me explain everything I do. I had to convince him that it was important for me to come and assist you in surgery last night. Then he insisted to drive me here.
He's concerned about your pregnancy.
I wonder. No, I mean it, Rick. Sometimes I look at him and I wonder if I'm a wife to him or just someone that will produce a male Quartermain heir.
You don't mean that.
I'm afraid I do, Rick. I'm frightened of him. I mean, how long do I have to go on living in fear that he's going to find out about that night? Do I have to pay for this for the rest of my life?
A complete recovery. But why don't you take off?
I'm surprised to see you here.
Well, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
What's happened now?
I've just come from my office and a meeting with your husband, Dr. Quartermain.
What did he want?
Well, what he wanted was to know the contents of the depositions that were taken during his absence.
What did you tell him?
I told him that my questions were concerned with the severe emotional stress that the two of you had been under when Mrs. Gregorian was operated on.
Well, how did he react to that?
There's no way of knowing unless we could read the man's mind. But I thought you should also know that he's aware of the missing deposition, and he's also aware of Lee's request that I shred my copy. Now, I don't want you to worry about it too much. I think we've got all the points covered. I think you should have your story straight in case he starts asking questions.
Thank you, Miss Bernstein.
You're welcome. I'm sorry that I have to just sort of drop this in your laps like this.
We appreciate that you came to us.
I knew that you'd want to know. Well, take care of yourselves now.
Goodbye. Thank you. Rick, what am I going to do?
Just play it cool. I think that's all we can do. Just play it cool.
Madge. Yes, probably some loose ends to tie up.
Yeah.
Ah, here you are.
Well, what's left of me anyway. It's been a long night in surgery.
Dr. Weber, would you by any chance have time for a cup of coffee in the cafeteria?
I think that'd be a great idea. Monica, thank you for everything. Alan, take care of her.
I intend to do just that.
See you later.
And will you please check us out? We won't be in for the rest of the day.
Absolutely, Dr. Quartermain.
We're going home, ma'am, where we can be alone and you can get some rest.
Sounds wonderful. Just wonderful.
Down, Tracy makes me absolutely furious. I mean, she's never been trustworthy, but this time she's gone absolutely too far in attacking Monica.
Alan, dear, are you sure that this anger isn't directed against yourself? Do you think that possibly your old suspicions have been revived and that somewhere, deep down within your innermost soul, you somehow, even though you try to deny it, you still believe that Monica was unfaithful to you? Is that where your anger is directed?
No, Mother, you're wrong. I have no more fears of that kind at all. I know that Monica is exactly what she seems to be. I know that that boy that she's carrying is mine no matter what my sister tries to pull. And if she thinks for 1 second that I would allow my wife to submit to a paternity test to prove that I'm the father of that child, well, I'll tell you something. My sister doesn't know her big brother.
Seem to have walked in on a rather important discussion.
How much of it have you heard?
Everything.
The most important thing is for you not to worry. Now, I've got a few cards to play myself. So if Tracy tries to hurt you or our son, I'll show Mitch Williams to the world for exactly what he is. A crook at best, and someone very closely connected to organized crime at worst. And the worst, Monica, is what they both deserve.
I knew about the restraining order that would keep anybody from reading a deposition. Lee took care of that with Zelda Bernstein's help after she'd been bribed by Tracy.
Why didn't you tell any of us?
Because, Alan, there's going to be a wedding in this family. Tracy and Mitch are going to be married next Wednesday. You've accepted as best man. I have accepted as matron of honor. And I didn't want to cause any more unnecessary trouble in this family.
That was very thoughtful of you, darling.
Well, Lila, I'm not blind. I know how Tracy feels about me. And in trying to preserve peace in this family, I've even hoped the baby would be a girl.
You what?
Alan, I'm sorry, but I did. Just to avoid this ugly kind of trouble.
Well, Tracy and Dad will be here soon. Mother's going to try and talk some sense into her.
I think I know a way that would keep Tracy quiet.
How?
Well, tell us.
We give her what she wants, and everybody could be happy.
I beg your pardon.
Well, this is not a sudden idea. I've thought about it.
Monica, what exactly are you saying?
Alan, there's enough money for everyone. I don't care who gets what when. What I do care about very strongly is this constant bickering with you and Tracy. I mean, that kind of hatred can destroy much more than what we'd be giving away.
And what exactly would we be giving away?
The Quartermain Trust Fund.
Oh, Monica.
Well, really, until my son is born, the money is Tracy's and her son's. Why don't we give it to her, Alan? You and I could sign it over to her.
Absolutely not. I can't believe that you've made such a suggestion. I will not submit to Tracy's blackmail, never. And you've got nothing to hide, so there's no way she can win. So there will be no discussion about handing anything over to Dad. Not one word ever again to anybody. Is that understood?
Yes, of course, dear.
Good. You and I are going to have the legitimate Quartermain heir. What's his is not ours to give away. Neither my father nor myself could ever commit such an act. Is that clear?
Very clear.
Good. You have given me an idea, though. If you'll excuse me.
I think, my dear, that you have now know what it's like to be married into the Quartermain clan.
Lila, I've known for a long time.